Talk about passwords for a minute. How many of you want to have to remember more passwords? Go ahead, raise your hands. We have a 12-step program for those folks. You want more? Great. We do a lot of security work for clients. When we do this, we do a password audit. So we'll get the master file where all the passwords are, and we'll run it through a password cracker. We want to measure how well are the staff, the employees, following the policies. What's a very common minimum password length these days? 8. Thank you. 8. I'll give you that $20 later. Here's a problem with an 8-character password. What word is 8 characters long? Password. P-A-S-S-W-O-R-D. Operating systems often have complexity requirements. You have to have an uppercase, a lowercase, a number, and a symbol. And if you follow the Microsoft rules, it's 3 of those 4. So if I have 3 of those 4, I meet the complexity rule, right? So could I make password a complex password at 8 characters? Uppercase P, lowercase A-S-S-W-O-R-D. Does that make 3 of the 4? No, it does not. I got an uppercase and lowercase. How can I make it meet 3 of the 4? I replace the O with a 0. Uppercase P, lowercase A-S-S-W, 0-R-D. That's complex. It's 8 characters long. It's one of the most common passwords in the world. It's in every password dictionary we have. Here's the other problem we've kind of come upon over the last couple of years. We do enough of this now. We've got a nice data set. In an organization that has more than 60 or 70 people, I can guarantee you we will find one person with a password that is the current or previous season with the year added to the end. I can guarantee it. 8 characters long. S-P-R-I-N-G 19. W-I-N-T-E-R 18. How often do we usually make people change their passwords? Go ahead, shout them out. 90 days, wrong answer. I'm being facetious, but never. 90 days, not 90 days. Once a season, which is about once every 90 days, right? Which is why so many people choose the season with the year. People choose passwords that are easy to remember. People choose passwords that are often associated with them somehow. So we got to teach people how to remember, how to choose and remember good passwords. A mnemonic. Used to say, make up a passphrase and then do substitutions. Don't worry about the substitutions anymore. Make it as long as you can. Make it close to natural language. What I do, this is my personal mnemonic. I take a phrase that has meaning to me but really isn't associated with me. For many of the last couple of years in the winter, we would take the family to the Wisconsin Dells and do a water park. So for a while, my password was the Wisconsin Dells, and then I would put something at the beginning and the end that made it unique to the particular account. The first 3 to 5 characters was unique for a particular bank account. It was different for CLA. It was different for something else. It's natural language. I'm not remembering any goofy substitutions. That is easy to type. It is long enough that it is programmatically basically not possible for us to crack it. And nobody's really going to look at me and say, oh, that's the Wisconsin Dells guy in 2016. Impossible to guess. You do this, you pick your 6 or 8 or 10 key critical passwords. I got US Bank, I got Amex, I got an investment account, I got a couple CLA accounts. They all look like this, but they're all unique. They're close enough to the same that it's easy to remember, but none of them are the same. My other 200 accounts, they're all the same variation of the same password. If you want to hack into my Star Tribune account, go ahead and do it. Update me on the latest news and pay the bill while you're there. They're all the same. I can literally, if I don't remember, I can guess my own password in 3 or 4 attempts. And those other services, not financial accounts, they don't lock you out when you get it wrong. And even if you get it wrong, they have the password reset button, easy to reset. It's not a high-risk account. The key here is the 2 minutes of inconvenience in teaching yourself the personal mnemonic. The personal mnemonic is important so it's easy to remember. And for God's sakes, don't write it on a Post-it note and stick it on the monitor. We have some tools to help us be more secure. Two-factor authentication. This is from Facebook right on my phone. If I set up two-factor authentication and then I log into Facebook from a device I have not used previously, they will prompt me with a code back to my phone. If I'm using the same device over and over again, I don't need, the two-factor doesn't come into play. And the assumption is if I sit at that computer over there, if a bad guy hacked my Facebook, has my username and password, and logs into me on that computer, he doesn't have my phone, so he's not going to get the code, so he can't complete the authentication. Almost every major service has this. Facebook, Twitter, Google, they all have this. They're all a little bit different. You got to find where it is. There are tools to help us remember all these passwords. I used to not encourage these. They've become very useful and they're very secure. 2 examples, LastPass and 1Password. Our security group, there's about 70 of us at the firm. We all use LastPass to manage most of our passwords. You create a master password, make it really, really strong, and then that master password manages all the other ones. So when you go to log into your Star Tribune account, LastPass remembers the password. When you go to log into your US bank account, LastPass remembers your password. Password 1 does the same thing. If you're going to use a password manager tool, that's software, I strongly encourage you to consider investing in some sort of security token as well. A YubiKey or a Google Titan security key. That way, when you log into the computer, all of your passwords in this password tool, if this device is not plugged in, they can't get to your password. You can't get to your password. The trick, get 2 of them at the same time. So they're the same. This is the one you carry around. The other one is in a safe place in case you lose this. If you can figure this out and manage this, you are on the very far end of the bell curve and the hackers will go somewhere else. Some of us are going to stick with multiple passwords. Again, figure out your 5 or 8 or 10 key critical passwords. Use a mnemonic to make them long and strong. Make sure they're all different. If Facebook gets hacked into and they get your password out of Facebook, you don't want them to be able to log into your bank account because you're using the same password. Don't link your accounts. A lot of times you can go in and sign up for a new service, and down at the bottom it says log in with Facebook. You click that link, it uses your Facebook login to log in. The other thing it does is it gives Facebook access to that system. I don't want Facebook to have access to anything else. Facebook is for me to see my kids' pictures and share my kids' pictures. That's all I use it for. Post pictures of our cool trips out to Philmont. And then back up your data. It is easier today than ever to back up that sensitive stuff. How many of you use an iPhone? Okay, it does it auto-magically for you. If you use a Mac computer, it will also do it auto-magically for you. You might have to pay for the storage. I pay $10 a month to have 2 terabytes of Apple cloud storage. It backs up my computer, it backs up my wife's computer, backs up my kids' iPads. It's seamless.